it in. Nope. The wires are Today I'm going to be fixing the camera's power supply that I destroyed last time I was out at the conservation area. And I make reference to a couple things, so I'm going to explain what it is I'm talking about so you know what it is. So first of all, the power supply that's on the Monster right now was just kind of temporary. It's basically strapped to the roll bar, and it's alligator clipped to one of the batteries because it runs off of 12 volts, so I only need the one battery. Like I say, it was a temporary setup, but haven't gotten around to changing it yet. So what I've done, I've bought this, and this is an Amazon listing. It's listed here for $33.64, but I got mine from eBay for about $12. So it is a step-down converter, or a buck converter, or DC to DC converter, whatever you want to call it. They're all pretty much the same thing, but there's many different styles. So I like this one because it's in a waterproof case, and I'm going to be mounting it inside the Monster. I'm pretty sure I've showed you the circuit board that I put inside. That is right behind the controller. I put it in there when I was trying to figure out how to switch between the two battery sets. So ultimately I decided that's what I'm going to be using it for, to mount this power supply to. And this one is 24 volts to 5 volts, and I also plan to put one in that has a 12 volt output. So basically what I need is, the camera runs off 5 volts, so I need a 5 volt power supply. And I went with the 24 volts so I can run it directly off the scooter's power instead of, jerry-rigging some kind of connection on one of the batteries. So it's just a more ideal setup, a more permanent. So with this one here, there's different values as well as the different types. And this one's 10 amp, 50 watts I believe. But I went with the higher value, because I plan to use it to power several cameras, not just the one, and at times likely charging my phone at the same time. So I wanted to make sure I had enough power to cover everything that I want to use it for, just to be safe. So that's that. And the other thing I mentioned is a USB strip, or a USB hub, whatever you want to call it. And I will be using this to connect the cameras to. The power supply that I have currently strapped to the roll bar only has 2 USB ports on it. So this one has 7, and I actually use a couple of these on my computer. They're pretty nice. They're really cheap quality, but they work well. They're very compatible with pretty much everything. I think the only thing that doesn't work on it is my iPhone. I'm pretty sure that everything else does, if I remember correctly. But I basically use it to connect all my external hard drives to, because I don't use them all at the same time. There's no point in having them all powered, so I just kind of turn the switches on and off as I need them. That's one thing I really like about this. It's got individual switches for each port, and when it's turned on, there's a light that indicates that it's on, so you can turn any number of them on one time, have them all on, have them all off, whichever way you want to do it, which is kind of neat. So this will cover all the cameras, all my accessories that I plan to use, and phone charger if I need it. So I haven't figured out exactly where I'm going to mount this yet, but it plugs into a USB port, and basically it's a splitter. It needs a 5 volt power supply. That's why I went with this, because it has a 5 volt output. So that's a future plan. I'm not sure when I'll get around to actually doing this, but that is what the plan is. And I mentioned this in the video, so when you hear it, you'll know what it is I'm talking about. So for some reason today, I did not use my voice recorder. I have no idea why. So I hope you can hear me good enough. So last time I was out at the conservation area, I kind of scraped the roll bar on a tree and ripped off the power supply for my cameras. So I didn't get much of the trip home because cameras had to run on battery. So I got quite a bit of mud stuck in here still. It was interesting trying to get. I drove through that mud before, I didn't have a problem. I don't know, because we got rain that morning, if there was more mud there, it was wetter, or whether I just picked a different line going through it, I'm not sure. But I pulled the wires off. There's just the 2-bare wires sticking out, and I thought the fuse had gone. So I turned my overhead light on. It still works. So I figured, okay, well, fuse is good then. Well, since then, I remembered the light bar is running off 24 volts. It's getting its power directly from the controller, where the batteries come into the controller, and camera is going right directly to one of the batteries with the alligator clip. So it's 2 different fuses. So today I'm going to try to fix it. I have my 5-volt power supply that I plan on using for the cameras, but in order to hook it up, I need to put all new wiring up here and the USB outlet. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that to protect it from the weather. I have an idea where I'm gonna put it, I'm just not sure how I'm gonna weatherproof it yet. So for now, I'm just gonna put the fuse in here and see if I can get this all rewired up. And I don't want to take this seat off again, but actually, I might get lucky. I might just get lucky if I can reach it from here. It's on the battery on this side. Ah, the bag's still wet. If I'm lucky, first negative, positive. Ooh, waha! And I got lucky. There's the fuse right there. Take this off. Out. Looks good, but that doesn't mean it is good. Get my tester. See what we got. And the fuse is still good. Excellent. I didn't pop the fuse. I don't have to replace it. Goody goody. Alright, I'll leave that out for a moment. That means I can rewire this up. Hopefully not rip it apart again. Remember how I did this. That's one of the reasons I put electrical tape in my emergency kit that I take with me. Just in case. A bit breezy today. Not a strong wind, it's just kind of gusty. Nothing major. I gotta take that apart again. I don't remember if this was glued in. Nope. Pulled the wires right out of the terminals. Wow. Alright. Now I'll make it easier to fix. Replace the terminals. Yeah. Should really have it on the inside so that the trees don't grab it like that. That wasn't a good thing to happen. My wires. here, so I don't need. See, this would have been better if I'd soldered these in. They may not have come apart, they may have just pulled the terminals off. Connectors. But then it may have been more damage pulling the wire up or something. So, I don't know. Oh, well, I guess I gotta figure out which one's positive and which one's negative. Fuse back in. Okay. Now. Alright. Minus, so that means this one here is positive. Okay. That one's positive. Let's do that one first. So we get all mixed up. Good to me. Do this the same way I did it before. Come on. Connect. Okay, now did I do that prematurely? I bet I did. Because now I can't get them through the hole. Go figure. I can drill that any bigger. Don't have my drill bits out here. I guess I need my drill bits now. Alright. That should work. I guess I'll find out. Yeah. The drill's plugged into the same source as the camera, so might get a little bit of interference here. All that work just for 2 seconds of drilling. Perfect. Next question is, can I get the second one through without touching the first one? Or can you do that with that wire in there? Because that wire takes up extra space too. Come on. in. Positive outside indicator. Okay, and we have a pilot light, which is all good. All good now. Now I need my hot glue gun. Waterproof that. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just use electrical tape. Then I gotta dig out my glue gun and wait for it to heat up. As you may have noticed, I like to do things the easy way. What I'm going to do, I'll switch it first. Position the cord. Now give it a specific position to put the key in. And grab the main cord. This way, another on the top. Okay, so that should be good. It should be waterproof. Now, I'm going to go up and down the shrink. Are we going to finish off this? Oh, tape. Okay, put it there. Look at that. Perfect. Just hit the end of the roll just perfectly. So the only way water is going to get in there is if it goes uphill. Which is not entirely likely. Alright, so I'm going to put this on the inside now. Actually, this whole thing should be on the inside. Maybe that'll work. Back to the zip tie. Pretty low in the black ones. That won't have enough to pull up. I wonder if one would be okay for now. Yeah. I don't have big bulky on today. Not sure if I actually showed you that or not. You did miss it. Not sure if I actually showed you what I did with my big bulky watch. Yeah, now it comes off. Thank you. I'll read this for a minute. After breaking my other watch, I had to go back to big bulky, but the flopping around was driving me crazy. So I took the band off and got some electrical tape, wrapped it around the pin, put the pin back in, so I got these two little pieces of electrical tape sticking out the sides, and the watch on the table, put my arm on top of it, pulled the electrical tape around to see how much length I would need, and so I got a piece of tape that long with the sticky side up, and then pulled the tabs up so it's sticking on that, and then I put another piece of tape over top. Worked perfectly. The only problem is, now that it's wearing out, the sticky part of the tape is getting kind of slimy, so gradually it just kind of slides away from itself. I could put new tape on it, but it works great. An electrical tape watch band. I might as well continue with the trend of the red accents, and I will use red. This is all just temporary anyways, even though it's kind of been like that since the ES950. I have a different setup for that one now, but I gotta redo this one. And I know I showed how I switched the batteries from one set to the other. I come up with a better way to do that. I will explain. Okay. Because right now, this is set up. So, power supply is done. I just gotta trim the excess cables off now. So the way this is set up now is, I know I've already showed this. I got the cutoff switch on each battery, the negative terminal of each battery, and this is in the front one right now, so I just kind of unscrew it and it disconnects the battery. I do that with both internal batteries, and then I go to the back, and that's kind of slid backwards a little bit. Rough riding. I think I know when that happened. Anyways, then on the back ones, I screw them in. I have these little plastic tab thingies that I was using, so when this is not in, this goes through the hole to keep it from coming apart. Well, I discovered a better way to do that. Give me a second here. So instead of those little tab things that I'm worried about falling out, I'm using reusable zip ties. Just stick that to it, it's not going anywhere. So this is now in my emergency kit too. Okay, so this part's easy, because all I have to do is lift up the carpet, pull the garbage bag up, and I got excess. On the back, first I have to take off my backpack, so it's wrapped around everything. It's not going anywhere, but it's crazy difficult taking it off. And then once I get that out, I have to pull these bungee cords tight, hook the hook around here to keep it in place, and gradually relax the tension on that one, just so everything stays together, because there's two cords here. And then I gotta take this cover off, then I got access to those. And then when I'm done, I gotta put the cover back on, and I gotta fold these under carefully while I'm putting the bungee cords back on, and then I got the backpack back on. It's a pain. So I come up with an idea. If you've ever changed the batteries in mobility scooter, you will notice there's plugs on them. It's got a wire that goes to the positive and a negative, and the two wires go to a plug. So when you're taking batteries out, you don't have to actually unscrew the wires from the terminals, you just pull the plug out. So that's how these are connected, and that's how the S950 is connected. So hopefully I won't need to use the S950 for a while. It depends on how this guy's going to behave, but it's been doing pretty good. So I'm thinking of taking those plugs off of that one and put them on the wires coming down from this battery, these batteries, and so all I have to do is switch the plugs around. Everything's accessible right up there, and I don't have to take all this apart. So that's the plan. When I'm going to get to do that, I don't know. There's so many projects on the go. Right now we've been using the shed, the old scooter shed there, for sticking junk in, just to get it out of the way, out of sight, and I can't really get to the S950 right now. And I can't actually turn it on to drive it out because I never did put the wire back on the brake unit after it came off the second time. I gotta solder that on. It comes right off, came right off the switch terminal. So I can't just like use its power to push through all this stuff. I gotta actually pull it out manually. So that's another thing that I'm not sure when I'm gonna get to. But that'll definitely make things easier. camera's power supply is working again. Didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So hopefully one day soon I can get around to putting in the more permanent solution. So next day, heading out to do another rail trail and stopped at the dollar store. And when I come out, there's this really nice thunderstorm off in the distance. A nice blue sky all around it, makes it look really, really nice. Bright white. It's got a really, really distinct anvil on top. You can see all the little puffies behind it. A lot of vertical movement over there. I love seeing thunderstorms in the distance. You can see me looking over at it. Especially in the evening. The sun's kind of behind me. It really lights up the storms really nicely. So I get down to the bridge and heading off behind the guardrail there, and I don't know if I've ever shown this before. There's a couple places where I can stop and snag some catnip for the cat. At this particular time, there's only a couple places I know I can get it, and one of them is up on the hill just before this, but I have to go down into the ditch, and it's really pretty steep. Going down is not a problem. Coming back up, it takes a lot of energy, and it's pretty hard on the knees and hard on the ankles. So I discovered there's some beside the bridge right at the end here. The only problem with this one is it's a longer walk to get to, and there's a lot of vines growing through the ground. So I just gotta kind of watch where I'm stepping, not trip over anything, and tumble down the hill. It wouldn't be a good thing because there's a big pile of rocks at the end of the bridge as well. I get to the rail trail entrance and barricade here. The trail's closed, and I wasn't sure if somebody had put it there. There's another sign over on the park sign to the left there, because when the trail was closed after the flooding, somebody kind of vandalized this and threw all the pieces off in the bushes. I thought maybe as a joke or whatever, a prank, somebody pulled it out of the bushes and stuck it there. But the sign's different this time. And I'm looking, you can see all this fresh kitty litter in the parking lot here. So dump trucks dumped it in. So chances are they're down there recoating, resurfacing the trail. I really, really hate coming down here and not being able to go through the trail. I have to turn around and go back. But I figured it'd be best today. So turn around, head back, and there's just thunderstorm. It's just beautiful. So I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, this might be a good time to get some time lapse. And I'm down here anyways. I'm out in the open. I can see it clearly. So I figured that's what I'm gonna do today.
Let's drift away from this world of madness. Take a little time to enjoy the silence. Feel the wind as it touches your lips. Feel the sun as you close your eyelids. Think of a place where there's only brightness. Take me by the hand and we'll try to find it. Time stands still as we lie and daydream. It feels so real, can you see what I see?
but it is tight. It is definitely tight.